Where are they now? Round 7. Oh, hang on. We can do better than that. Where are they now? Round 7. Tommy! AKA Jason David Frank, the original Green Ranger, White Ranger, Red Zeo Ranger, First Red Turbo Ranger, and Black Dino Thunder Ranger. Now in this case, we have a total of not 2, not 3, but 4 character departures. Well, what do you expect? First up is a 2-part special called The Green Candle, where Rita reveals she has a green candle that will steal Tommy's power because apparently Tommy touched it under her control, which, I'm gonna go on record, is way less dramatic than Bry's green candle of death, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Well, to keep things short, the Rangers try to get the candle back while Tommy battles a new shape-shifting monster on his own, yada yada yada. He has failed and the Rangers are forced to abandon the mission in order to save Tommy's life over his powers. So, with time up for the candle, the only way to stop Rita from getting it back is for Tommy to give away his powers. And of course he chooses Jason, so with the crisis averted, he can just give the powers back, right?
I summon the power of the Dragon Shield! Oh!
Anywho, the reason for this departure, well, I'm gonna have to give you a little history in this Japanese version, Zyurangers. The stock footage ran out. The backstory in this version is the Green Ranger, or Dragon Ranger he's called there, had actually died and passed on his powers. In fact, he was already dead from the beginning, just living off very limited borrowed time that drained away every time he left his special room. Which is why Tommy only showed up at the end of all the fights he was in. Well, while Dragon Ranger wasn't technically the first extra ranger, he was the first to have his own mech, and to stick around for more than 1 or 2 episodes. And he also made the Extra Ranger a staple in the series Super Sentai. Why? Because there was one thing these two had in common. They were both crazy popular. So, once departed, there was a massive demand for both people to return. The Japanese company Toei ultimately decided to take the high road, keeping Burai dead to teach kids the lessons that everyone, even a superhero, can die. We, on the other hand...
Whoa! This is amazing! I'm back!
So yes, with the help of both that hideous American Green Ranger costume and footage from Zhu 2, which is a whole nother video on its own, Green Ranger was back for about 20 episodes. At least now he had a new theme song.
Green Ranger.
You alright, man?
However, to anticipate another future leave, which they knew they'd had to do, given that Die Rangers didn't fit, Tommy's new powers are limited and eventually drained away.
As you are aware, the Green Ranger's power was completely decimated by his last few battles.
After this, Jason Frank was to begin his own show called Cybertron, which we know now as VR Troopers. He would have been a solo hero playing Adam Steele, while a new actor, Brad Hawkins, was set to be his replacement as the White Ranger. However, the fans of Power Rangers weren't too thrilled to see Tommy leave for good.
I was on the show, and then, stuff kind of happened, and they wanted to turn me into kind of my own show, so I started VR Troopers. Sold that kind of syndication kind of worldwide. We sold like 70 to 80% of it. Brad Hawkins, who starred on VR Troopers, was going to be the White Ranger. So when I left the show, all these kids petitioned that they wanted me to come back, they're saying they're not eating, I mean, literally. So they were like, Saban was really worried, and they're like, you got to go back to your show. I was like, oh, no, man, I just want my own show. I want to, like, be next door, not like in any other way, but I just kind of wanted to, like, I don't know, it was kind of cool. It was the same thing, but anyway, so Brad was going to be, which happened to work out, I think, for the best, because then I wanted to be in the movie, and that was like a pretty, $80 million movie, and so it happened to be that Brad was the White Ranger, I was VR Troopers, and then again we switched back. So it was just switch. It's literally just walking next door. It was like, okay, man, VR Troopers, here's your helmet, get my helmet, see you, bye. That was the switch.
It literally was next door. We
door.
filmed right here,
Yeah.
and VR Troopers filmed right next to us in these studios. Right
So we'd have like bad guys walk around, hey, how's it going? They're like switching.
Well, geez. So, after all that, Tommy is back as the White Ranger, and then eventually the White Ninja Ranger, which today stands as a prime target for KKK jokes.
White power!
White power,
We get it! A white hood and Windows Movie Maker. Anywho, as we all know, he was there for 2 movies, one of 2 people to be a ranger in both, the other being Adam, the next season as Red Zeo Ranger, and the beginning of Turbo, but that departure I already explained in Kat's video, so let's skip that.
I wouldn't be standing here today, DJ, if it weren't for your courage and strength. I choose you to lead the team as a new Red Ranger.
But if you want to know Frank's reason for leaving, it's very simple. He was burned out.
From day one, you know, they probably should have thought about changing Rangers every year so no actor can have any kind of power. You know, because I'm the one that left the show. I'm not the one. I didn't get fired. I left the show. I just got tired of, you know, I just wanted to leave, and it was at my time to leave. And
Me
you know,
too.
Yeah, it was like, it was one of those things where it was just, you know.
Now, one final departure, jumping a bit out of shift here, is Dino Thunder. This departure, there's really not much to say. He stayed around till the end, and like any other modern season of Power Rangers, it ends, they all lose their powers and go on to a happy-go-merry life. So, he stays a teacher, and it's implied that's what he's still doing today. Now, what else? Well, just like Steve, he has his own karate places where he teaches people the awesome art of self-defense and discipline. Rising Sun Karate, which is still active today. This took up a lot of his time, as well as also several small films like Paris in 2003, The Junior Defender, which was made in 1997 and released 10 years later in 2007. Jeez.
We go in Hollywood, everything's always ready to go. We got stuff that's ready to go all the time, but the problem is money gets held up. I mean, I remember I signed a 3-picture deal. It was a movie with the second unit director of Indiana Jones, Jesse Johnson, did it. And it was a really good film. It was kind of like a Mel Gibson type of film. When I signed the deal, Jason Segel was in. A lot of people, I did the table read, and he came out that day and was like, okay, the money fell through. So it just kind of like dropped through. So there's a lot of that going on. You know, I had like an NBC deal too to develop my own show, and just lots of stuff, and that just kind of goes through and falls through.
He would return to Power Rangers for Forever Red in 2001, which I don't think needs any more explaining. Back as the Red Zeo Ranger one last time in what I now realize is one of the most controversial episodes of Power Rangers out there, but we'll get into that when I review it.
I don't really like Zeo though. I mean,
Zeo.
Yeah, I don't really
A lot
like
of people
him so
do
much.
though. A lot
Yeah,
of people actually liked Zeo.
I just didn't like the star on my helmet.
And now going back to Dino Thunder. His return was both a favor to Douglas Sloan and a gift to his daughter, who just adores Power Rangers.
Best thing about, you know, afterwards is, you know, again, I mean, I got a 3-year-old little girl who just absolutely loves Power Rangers now, and she, you know, wants me to morph all the time, and I mean, she really does. This is the last time she just hands me toys and is like, morph, 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 you know, and she's like, power up. I mean, she's like, power up, Daddy, power up, Daddy, power up, Daddy.
So, he returned for a part that was actually originally considered to be offered to Austin St. John, but since Austin was already a Black Ranger, sort of unofficially, and since it's blasphemy to be the same color twice, the role was offered to Jason instead.
I may be old, but I can still pull it off.
So, Tommy returns as the Black Dino Thunder Ranger, and despite having to disappear as a face character for half the season due to family emergency, everything was great until the SPD crossover.
Is like I went to Dino Thunder and I thought everything was great on Dino Thunder. You know, I got along good with them and all that stuff. Then they did this episode where, you know, the Black Ranger showed up and stuff, but they never asked me to come back, and then they used Jeff's voice to do my voiceover, which I thought was pretty rude, you know? I mean, it's not even my character's voice, and I would have done it if they just simply asked me. But I think everyone's just, duh. Like, we'll never know. Like, that's not my voice. Everyone's like, that's not your voice, you know? On the episode, I guess, the reunion on the one after Dino Thunder. Everyone else was back, though, except for me, though. But they never asked me, so...
Time to take it to the next level. Yeah!
But that's enough beating around the bush, because we all know what you really want to know about. 3 words: mixed martial arts.
If you're probably a teenager or you got teenage kids, you will remember the Power Rangers.
Oh, I wanted to go on stage one time in Japan to hit one, the bad one.
Well,
but my wife said no.
You know, you mentioned this. You may get a chance to hit a Power Ranger soon, boss, because one is now moving on into the world of MMA.
The actor best known for his role as Tommy on the hit TV show The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is preparing to make his MMA debut. When he does, he won't be relying on superpowers, but rather his 30-plus years of martial arts experience.
I never look at this as a job. This is just obviously for fun for me, but I like to go out there. I like the competition. I like that fighting. I like that, sense of winning, sense of accomplishment. And I also never want to say, when I get older, I wish I did that.
Yes, in 2010, Jason David Frank takes all his famous hi-ya noises into the MMA ring. In that same year, he had 4 amateur fights and 1 professional and won them all in the first round, 3 submissions and 2 knockouts. However, he has not fought since due to constant problems in either training or scheduling.
Hey guys, Jason David Frank. Hey, I want to let everyone know, for some reason my fight was canceled. I think my opponent's blood work didn't come out right. I know Nick got pulled off the card. Randy Howard got pulled off the card, and I got pulled off the card. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. And, I'm training hard, and I'm looking for my next fight.
Although he hasn't fought in that type of ring since, his martial arts has not gone rusty. While still teaching the sport, he now has his own Power Rangers boot camps. Oh snap. Being whipped into shape by a former Power Ranger, what more could you want?
Listen, the next boot camp, even the people that came last boot camp, I forgot to give you a copy of this. It's awesome. This is when we were at Universal Studios, when we sold the house out. This is a magazine. I meant to show you guys last time. This is magazine clippings and logos and magazine clippings from the whole series. It's like a collectible thing from the whole series of everything, including the mall appearance that I did that beat out Santa Claus that's in here. The show me and Amy did and sold out 20,000 people. I mean, everything is in here about the toys. This is from Saban Entertainment that I got a long time ago. It's copies of news clipping when they were in Burbank. I'm going to give a signed copy to everybody who comes to the boot camp. It is not for sale. It's for people boot camp only.
Well, what else is there to say? Oh yeah, a new movie last year in 2011, The One Warrior. I haven't seen that, but it's gotten pretty bad reviews. I imagine it's probably just, an action flick. But anything... Oh, that's right. There's still one more topic I need to discuss. No. Next time.
Morphin' time! Dragon Sword! I need Dragon Sword power! Tiger Sword! White Tiger! White Ranger power! White Ranger power! Steel Ranger 5! Red! Shifter turtle!